explain to the listeners out there who obviously can't see what's going on, what is it that you've got behind you there? What is it that you're going to play tonight?
It's a modular synthesizer, so it's a synthesizer broken down into the individual parts. So you've got parts that actually make the sounds, you've got the parts that create the patterns, create the melodies, etc. And it's basically, it's entirely analog. That's the whole thing about it. So like it makes you make music in a different way as well, because it's very short loops. So
in what way does it make you make different music? Is it just more improvised?
It's it's entirely improvised. I mean, that's the other thing. But because I made the sequences myself, and they're only 8 steps long, so it's very short. Most people make music on computers. You can make a tune that's 3 minutes long, 5 minutes long, and it can be different throughout the whole time.
Right, okay.
Whereas it's all very it's repetitive by its nature, basically.
Dropping this piano, which you can see here, the instrument known as the piano. We're doing it now, Steve. Oh, he's not coming. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to tell you a little bit about this piano before we start. Because for many years it was played by dainty fingers, and many people sang popular songs around it and had a good time. I'm sure you can imagine that. People having a good time. That's good. But now, it's come to the end of its life. No more tunes can be played on this piano. At least not that can be recognised. And so, its last wish was that it would entertain people one more time. And so, we're going to drop it 6 times. From this hook, which you can see in front of you. We'll be dropping it from 6 different heights. This is the first height, 7 centimetres, a popular number of centimetres.
too loud. I'll move back. That was quite a good sound. There's already a roof falling through. Was that roof falling through last time?
associate the idea of building and decay to music really easily, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I think as well, like, I'm kind of we seem to get into breaking sound down. Do you know what I mean? Like eroding sound almost until you can't tell what it is anymore. It's like.
I think there's like a link as well with, you know, sort of perhaps like buildings or areas that other people have like completely forgotten about. That we find interesting and exploring that kind of notion, you know, in what the music we make as well.
I think that there's the link to like the fact that we've all played free parties in places like that, and there's just a kind of link to electronic music to that shit, because that's often where it was performed.
Well, yeah,
you know, historically,
and
DJing in abandoned warehouses and stuff, and
old bowling alleys, etc.
Yeah. It's a repurposing of stuff, isn't it? It's a repurposing.
That's what I mean, how it feeds into directly feeds into the processes, you know, we go through when we make music as well.
Yeah, we're constantly repurposing things anyway, not using them as they're meant to be used.
Using sounds, you know, or leaving things there that other people would want to remove, like kind of, you know, noise floor and kind of just
dirt.
Yeah, I mean, it's the noise of just what's there, just like being honest about it. It's more honest that way. I think the stuff we do is quite honest, you know, it's like
you can hear all the clugs.
I like the fact that we've honed in on dynamics, you know, much more than we used to. We still run stuff through compression a lot, but we maintain the dynamics a lot.
The sound in reality is dynamic, you know what I mean? You get quiet things and loud things, and why not reflect that in the music? Why does everything feel fucking super loud in your face?
It's a long process. If you dipped into some of the stuff we do, it wouldn't really kind of make much sense.
You've got to fully submerge yourself in the world of it.
Yeah, and I think that also ties to the kind of the idea about the landscape we take influence from, because people drive past all this stuff all the time. But if you've got the time to kind of like stand around and really look at something, you can often find that it's beautiful.
You can appreciate. You certainly appreciate it on a different level. Like that. Yeah, definitely.
And there's so many of our tracks already that incorporate the sound of nature, of building sites.
The sound of a space, it seems to be increasingly important to us. It's like since we started doing that stuff in Temple Works, using areas of echo chambers, using the plate reverb, it's like the actual sound of physical things moving is, seems to be increasingly important to what we do. I don't know where that's come from, because we're all synth geeks, but real sound is creeping in more and more, isn't it?
while the drop was going on. It would have just been a bit too mysterious kind of thing.
That looks fucking sick. Look through here.
Warhammer. Oh, they're straight. Yeah. Oh, that's a slight step up from what we've been using. Bent hammers.
Bong.
I saw the thing down there.
Well, I got some of Andy talking.
Yeah.
Couldn't really tell what it was that.
Yeah.
But we've got all those samples we go. The next drop is from 28
The Spectrum Plus 2 is basically exactly the same, but the board's twice as big, and all of these chips are like separated out. This is like it's got this thing here that we never had any of that kind of high technology. It was all like these ones are the ones that you get the spaz off, and there was on the ZX Plus 2 there's like 16 of them or something. So you can just fucking go all over them and you get loads of stuff.
So they put loads more of it into
one big chip. Yeah, that's it, and you can't fuck with that.
So what was this originally? This isn't the ZX.
No, this is the video painter.
Video painter.
So it's like there's like a little touchscreen pad on the other side.
Yeah.
And you could like draw on it and choose make little lines and make crap pictures and little shapes and stuff. It's kind of. It's like you could program it, but you wouldn't, would you?
No. No, you wouldn't. You certainly wouldn't get anything like that if you sat and programmed it.
No.
This is where you need a bit of chaos.
Yeah. Could you have a look in that pile of cables down just by Naf's feet?
Yeah. What is it?
Just to the left of him. For like a composite lead, but long phono kind of thing.
Phono.
Yeah, because I don't think there's one on it. Can you tell whether or not the frame rate thing is fucking up? You know what I mean?
You'd see it on there.
If it was flashing.
It's WYSIWYG, man. What you see on there is what you'll get.
Right.
So, I'm actually quite surprised it isn't strobing. Why not just sit and sequence it like?
Because it's the magic of the unknown. It's like, you know, I used to think this when I was jamming with bands when I was younger. Like, there's stuff that happens when you're together and you're playing, especially with a group of friends that you know and stuff, that would never ever happen. You get moments that just happen, moments of like clarity when you click together and do something that on your own it just doesn't happen. You need that connection between you for that, you know, to happen. Or even when you bounce, I mean, that's in a physical sense when you're actually playing, but even when you just bounce an idea, when somebody has an idea and you've got somebody else to throw it to so they can run with it and then throw it back.
Instantly they catch on to what you're doing.
Yeah.
Like, without even any glance or anything at each other, you just get into that zone where you're totally in tune with one another.
It's really intuitive, isn't it? Sometimes I think that I'm not actually making those decisions.
That's
Something
it.
else is making them.
I know, it's bizarre.
It's like out of body experience almost. It's like, fuck, I just wrote a tune and I have no idea how that actually happened.
Yeah.
It's really strange.
I mean, obviously there's occasions where everybody goes off on one, but that's part of it as well. I love when we've done like hour-long jams and they just evolve through these insane spaces really organically, even though some of it is not what you consider music per se.
It always ends up back at music.
That's
though.
it.
It's like there's a process where it deconstructs and then reforms into a new idea. And I like the bit where it's deconstructing and turning into something else. It's like
it's part of it.
The journey is part. You know, is as important as where you actually get to. It's how you got there. Yeah.
But the way that things just fluidly come out of the ether, it's, you know, sometimes you just, nobody in the band's expecting it, and then everybody suddenly locks onto it, and then that starts on the track.
Well, that's what I think is, you know, ultimately it's more beneficial to go through like a culling process at the end, because it's just, you know, it's like that thing that we were saying, isn't it? Record everything.
Yeah.
Because you get these bits of kind of magic happening between all this stuff, and yeah, it's just, I think that you've got to be brave enough to just go through the shit to get through to the other side of it.
Yeah.
You work out what's going on. Does it come off a spindle or something?
Yeah. I don't know how it's mostly wrapped itself around.
I mean, I was changing repeat rate quite a lot. I don't know whether that would. Why would that make it do anything? I don't know.
Well, it alters that's the thing with tactile, isn't it? All the controls kind of alter the speed of the tape passing through the heads and
so that could have. Because if we can work out what exactly made it happen, we can avoid it.
Okay. And then that would normally slot in here, into these tape heads onto that roller. Into the spool reel. Like that. Oh shit.
You don't want tape getting in the mechanism.
Fucking fiddly, man.
see this as sculpture anymore, and I used to. I used to kind of make that kind of like, you know, that analog kind of, you know,
it's a piece of music.
Yeah, it's like carving it out, and it's not. It's almost like now we just carve things out thin out.
Or rather, we're part of the fluidity of it, rather than, you know, I mean, we've entered the fluidity of the organic nature of things, rather than actually trying to construct it within the things.
That's where analog comes in as well, because we use a lot of use digital and analog stuff, but we use a lot of analog stuff these days. And I think part of that is that it sounds organic and it's as fluid as the process that we're adopting on it. It's every time you switch those instruments on, they sound slightly different and they're drifting, and you have to work with that on the fly. You know, how many times we had to tune a synth on the fly, but like, can you imagine doing that a few years ago? And you're like,
but we've had to solder synths.
We have soldering
party,
soldering during a gig. It's the future. Yeah, you kind of subvert it, don't you? You take something from reality but you make it sound alien, that's sound different. And you kind of highlighting the alien qualities that are just in reality.
This is it. You can walk straight past something and we'll put it on a track, compress it, filter it, do, you know, flange it, whatever. And immediately your attention is drawn to something that you haven't necessarily known.
Creating a new space out of an old space,
I think space is a really kind of interesting word to pick up on, because that's something that you know, that's the outlet I think we unconsciously or otherwise, you know, happens in our music, is this sense of space. I mean, the plate reverb, you know, plays a lot into it because it's such a unique instrument to have in the studio, and it does kind of, you know, characterise that sound a lot, especially seeing as it picks up all the commotion going on in the studio. You know, it's always been a reverb.
It sounds like a piece of machinery as well. It sounds industrial. It's like when you feed a sound into it, it's like feeding it into a factory.
That's what has that kind of that quality, that, you know, that spatial quality. It kind of puts you in a sense of, you know, space, and that, you know, again ties to, you know, influence with the kind of the environment and stuff.
This is quite nice actually, so.
That's
nice,
it's
isn't it?
warm.
It is, yeah.
It's particularly considering it's playing through a shit little speaker as well.
That doesn't.
Must have a filter. It's going. It's got to have a filter on it. Yeah.
That sounds like pulse width modulation.
Yeah.
Sometimes if you touch the speaker, you can get some good pitch effects sometimes if you touch the speaker connection with, I don't know which one, with...
So it kind of feeds back.
Long way. Reach the end of the toe. Flip it over. I wonder if it just works when...
Does it? Oh, that's pretty cool.
You might have to put the cameras away for a sec.
Okay.
This bit's quite difficult.
Sure, they've got bigger fish to fry.
I mean, no, we either worry about it and don't do this, or we just get on with it, get caught, and then go home.
We're in. Awesome. Yeah. It was hairy. Yeah. It got hairier. Yeah. But yeah, I'll ring you back in about 5-10 and let you know what we're doing, because we've just made entry, so not sure what we're doing yet. But I'll check back in 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes. All right. Catch you soon. All right. Bye. That's quite strange.
our art wouldn't exist without it.
Yeah.
But I also value the finished thing as well as a piece of music, and I kind of almost in my brain separate that away from it's like the process is magical and it happens, but the end product is almost like, you know, it's like you don't concentrate on the sex, you concentrate on the newborn child. You know, that's the analogy I'm going to make. Right?
Yeah,
but
I'm definitely more about
No, absolutely. Yeah.
But you know, yeah, it's
You can't separate one from the other.
no,
I don't think.
Process and product are two sides of the same coin.
Well, they are.
But not. I don't think the process of a lot of people make music, even the way we used to make music, is not kind of like.
That was too focused on the product.
Yeah, well, it's not it's not unique to the kind of sound of their music. It's like without the process that we go through, it feeds directly into the kind of atmosphere and sound and idea of what we're doing. And that's quite unique for me.
Yeah.
Just by virtue of the process and the fact that we improvise means that we're just capturing moments at the end of the day.